Hi everyone, welcome back to the Rugby League History channel. Tonight I'll be doing my tips around 24 of the 2022 NRL season. Last week I got 6 out of 8 correct. I'm still leading one of the tipping competitions on NRL.com and the other one I'm coming about 7th. There's some big matchups coming this week. It's the business end of the year and there's some big matches that concern the top of the table and also the bottom of the table. The first match to kick off round 24 is on Thursday. It's between Brisbane and Parramatta. This one's being played at Suncorp Stadium. It sees Brisbane in 8th place, Parramatta in 5th. The head-to-head between these two sides in recent meetings, Parramatta's won 7 of the last 10 fixtures, and they did have a big win last week over arch rivals Canberra Bankstown. And with Brisbane, let's just forget that ever happened. If you're a Brisbane fan, that was an embarrassing loss for them. But this is a must-win game for Brisbane, especially with Canberra breathing down their neck in 9th place. Parramatta are safe and will play finals in 2022. An interesting stat as well is that whenever Parramatta play against Adam Reynolds, whether it be for South or Brisbane, he tends to pull their pants down, and in his entire career he's only lost 3 matches against Parramatta in all competitions, so he has a good record against Parra. This match is really hard to call because with Parramatta you just don't know which Parra's going to show up, and with Brisbane this is an absolute must-win game for them. And if anyone gets this right, I'll take my hat off to you, but I'm going to go for Brisbane to win this match by 12 points. I think that's they're desperate to win this match, and I think that they will there on the Thursday night over Parramatta. The first match on the Friday is between Penrith and New Zealand. This one's being played at Penrith Park. It sees Penrith, the runaway minor premiers of 2022, up against New Zealand in 13th. Penrith have won their last 5 encounters against New Zealand, so they definitely love playing against New Zealand in recent times. The last time that New Zealand recorded a victory over Penrith were in round 10 of the 2019 season. They beat them 30 points to 10. I think I'm not really going to say too much about this game other than Penrith will win 13 plus. I think Penrith did very well last week against South Sydney to get the win, but New Zealand are not as good as South, and even without the likes of Cleary and Luai and all that, I still feel that Penrith, once they get going, can rack up a score against New Zealand. So I go for Penrith to win 13 plus on the Friday. The main match on the Friday and one of the games of the round is between Melbourne and Sydney Roosters. This one's being played at Amy Park in Melbourne. It sees Melbourne in 4th at the moment and Sydney Roosters in 6th. East have won their last 6 matches in the NRL, so they're on an absolute roll, and Melbourne's won 4 in a row in the NRL, so both sides are in very good form coming into the finals. Melbourne have won their last 5 encounters against East in the NRL, and the last time that Eastern Suburbs recorded a victory over Melbourne were in round 6 of the 2019 season. They beat them 21 points to 20 down there at Amy Park, and I think Latrell Mitchell kicked the field goal to win that match, I'm pretty sure. For this game, I think it's going to be very tight. It's going to be a very good match, but I'm going to go for Melbourne because it's at home, so I go for Melbourne to win 1-12 there on the Friday night over East. The first match on Super Saturday is between Canberra and Manly. This one's being played at Bruce Stadium there in Canberra. It sees Canberra in 9th at the moment, Manly in 11th. Manly have lost their last 5 matches in a row in the NRL competition, but I think one thing that Manly fans would bring some hope into this game is that they've won 8 of their last 10 encounters against Canberra. For Canberra, this is an absolute must-win game for the capital club if they are to play finals in 2022. They're only sat 2 points behind Eastern Suburbs there, and the equation's simple for them. They just have to keep winning, and that's what they've been doing recently. For this game, I'm going to go for Canberra to win 1-12 there. I just can't tip Manly. It just seems that Manly's just fallen off really badly. So I'm going to go for Canberra to win 1-12 there at Bruce Stadium on the Super Saturday. The second match on Super Saturday is between Cronulla Sutherland and Canberra Bankstown. This one's being played at Shark Park there. Cronulla in 3rd, Canterbury in 12th. Cronulla's won their last 4 matches in a row in the NRL. However, the head-to-head between the two sides is quite even. Both sides have chalked up wins against each other in the past. But with Cronulla, they're very, very good at home, and especially this year, they haven't lost too many matches at Shark Park. It's notoriously a tough place to go in the past. For this game, I'm going to go for Cronulla to win 1-12. I think that Canterbury will give them a bit of a game. Canterbury will come out after what happened last week and try to put in a good performance, but I just think overall Cronulla is going to be too strong for them there on the Super Saturday, and I think Cronulla will consolidate 3rd position on the table in the NRL. And the final game on Super Saturday, and one of the games of the round, is between South Sydney and North Queensland. It sees South Sydney in 7th at the moment, North Queensland in 2nd. This one's being played at Stadium Australia. The head-to-head between these two sides over the last 10 encounters or so has been quite even. Both sides have gotten wins against each other. With North Queensland, their last win over South at Stadium Australia was in round 6 of the 2015 season. They beat them 30 points to 12. Admittedly, South Sydney have taken a lot of their home games over the past 5 to 10 years against North Queensland up to Cairns at Barlow Park there for some reason. So that's why there's been a lack of matches played at Stadium Australia between the two. This is a very, very tough game to call. Both sides have been in very good form up until last week with South losing against Penrith. I'm going to pick North Queensland to win this game. I know that there's been a bit of talk about them, how they can't win outside of Queensland or Townsville. But this is a different North Queensland side this year. They're 2nd for a reason. They're playing very well. I have no doubt that they probably will have a home final there in week 1. So I'm going to go for North Queensland to win this match 1-12. It's going to be a very close match, but I just see North Queensland edging it in the end. The first match on the Sunday could potentially decide the wooden spoon for 2022. It's West Tigers up against St George. This one's being played in neutral territory there at the Western Sydney Stadium. West Tigers currently sat dead last, but that's only on for and against, and St George in 10th. The head-to-head between these two sides is quite even. There's not really much to split them. West Tigers have lost their last 3 matches in the NRL. This is an absolute must-win game for West Tigers. They're sat dead last, but this is certainly a winnable game for them. This is definitely not like the match against the Eastern Suburbs where they suffered a club record 72 points to 6 loss last week. This is definitely a winnable game against the St George side, who have been up and down all year. St George had a good win last week against the Gold Coast. I think this is going to be a very, very tight match. I have a feeling if West Tigers can somehow beat St George on Sunday, then they'll survive getting their first wooden spoon, because if Newcastle beat the Gold Coast have to travel to Mount Smart Stadium in the final round of the year against New Zealand, which is not going to be an easy task. For this game though, however, I'm going to go for St George. I think that's St George have been playing okay recently. They haven't been getting the results, but they got a good result last week. And for West Tigers, I think they're going to be without James Tormo, their captain, for a couple of weeks or for the rest of the year over what he said to Ben Cummins. So I'm going to go for St George to win 1-12 there on Sunday at Parramatta. And the final game to close out round 24 is between the Gold Coast and Newcastle. This one's being played at Seaboard Super Stadium on the Gold Coast. The GC are in 15th at the moment, Newcastle in 14th. The head-to-head between these two sides is quite even over recent memory. This is, well, I've coined it myself, this is the NRL Spoon Bowl match for 2022. Because Gold Coast and West Tigers can't play against each other, this is the closest thing to it. Newcastle are mathematically still capable of getting the wooden spoon, even though it's a bit of a long shot. And for the Gold Coast, the assignment's pretty much simple for them. I think that's well, they'll already know the result of the St George and West Tigers match. So if St George have won that, the Gold Coast know that just a win over Newcastle will pretty much, I think, seal their survival from the wooden spoon, because the West Tigers for and against. With Newcastle, they don't have a good record at the Gold Coast. The last time that they won up there was in round 3 of the 2015 NRL season. They beat the GC 20 points to 18 there in round 3. And before that, if you were to look for another Newcastle win up there, it come on round 7, 2013. Newcastle won that 30 points to 6. This is such a huge game that could decide who finishes where at the bottom of the table. As I said, Newcastle are mathematically still capable of getting the wooden spoon, so they'll be desperate to win this game. Really, against Canberra last week, they should have won, but goal kicking let them down. In the end, they only kicked 1 from 5 conversions. For the Gold Coast, as I said, they know the assignment's pretty simple. If they can win this match, and they'll pretty much secure their survival from the wooden spoon. For this match, I'm going to go for Newcastle to win. I think Newcastle's slightly the better team. It's going to be a very high scoring match because both sides can't defend. But I just have a feeling that Newcastle will win 1-12 there at the Gold Coast. So that has been my tips for round 24 of the 2022 NRL season. I hope you enjoyed these tips. If you did, let me know in the comment section below. There'll be a change in the date of the View from the North podcast with me and Just Rugby League, aka Dave. It's going to be on a Tuesday this week because the Super League matches are on a Wednesday. So it'll be me, Dave, and hopefully a special guest will be on there as well. I've been told that there will be a special guest. However, it hasn't been confirmed. But anyways, it's been Rugby League history. Thanks for tuning in and watching the videos as always. And I'll catch us all later in the next one. Alright, tatty bye for now.